This is the GUI portion of the project. We will go ahead and start running the admin GUI. And we will also pull up the voter GUI. Once both those are running, they are connected to the sys server and able to make calls to the voting software. So we just need to initialize a voting software with a password. We will do that with the admin GUI. We get a response back saying yes. So we know our voting software is working. So we can initialize a tally with the candidates 1, 2, 3 and the password that we put in. We get a message back saying that's good and created. Now we can start our voting. So we'll just do vote 1 by 1, ID 2 on 1, ID 3 on 1. So now we have 3 votes for candidate 1. We're going to go ahead and try and vote for 2 with ID 3, but 3 is already been used, so that's going to give us an error. So we'll try 4. 4 worked. Change to 5. 5 works, so now we have 2 votes on 2. And then we'll go ahead and throw 1 vote on 3. Now we're able to request the number of winners is 2 and put in our password, request a report. So we're going to end the tally table and we get our report. 1 has 3 votes, 2 has 2 votes. We're acknowledging that the report's closed and we're getting the correct message ID.
Hello, this is Jeffrey Socash. I am demoing the email server component. So I already have my sys server running and I already have an instance of PRJ remote, but the email server component is not running yet. I would like to demonstrate what happens when you run it. So go to scripts, run individual components, run email server. It now prompts you, as you can see, it is registered on the server. It prompts you now to enter the email address for the voting system that you wish to use. This is presumed to be operated from the admin setting up the voting software. So originally we had just hard coded it, but that was not secure, obviously, because it involves storing the information for the email and its password in plain text in our repository. So now we can specify the email that we are using to run this voting software. And we can also type the password. And as you can see, for added security, it uses the console to read as a password. So in this case, you don't see it, but it is being registered. And after that, it finishes the connection. So if I message now this email address from my phone and say, let's just say boo, as you can see, it's sent. This will be processed by the email server component, and it will send a message out to the voting software component processing that message. So if we are just patient for a second, it should send. Yeah, so as you can see, it sends a message 701, the cast vote message. Candidate ID is foo, which is the body of the text that we sent. And the phone number is the email representation of our phone number. So when the email would reply to this phone number email, it would send a text message to the phone. And as you can see, it's sent from the email server to the voting software. And so we have already demonstrated in Milestone 2 that this works with the voting software component. So for the purposes of just demonstrating the updates to the email server component, I am using PRJ remote. I want to also show that messages sent from the voting software to the email server also will send messages back to the phone. So first is a message to acknowledge a valid vote. As you can see, the voter phone number that is expected to receive the message back is the same phone number that it was sent from. So if we send this message from mock from the voting software to the email server, we should expect a message back from the email server to our messages that the vote was cast successfully. Yes, and as we see there. Likewise, if we send the message with a status code indicating that it is an invalid vote to the same phone number, we see that we get a response that is an invalid vote. And then finally, if we send a message with a status code indicating that the vote casted by this number was a duplicate vote, we get a message saying that there was already a vote active in the session and that it will not be counted. So as you can see now, the email server has been made a bit more robust, a bit more performant as well. So now it's a bit more secure because now passwords aren't visible in plain text anywhere. And it's more modular and flexible because now any email can be set up to be the voting email server component. It doesn't have to be hard coded into the code itself. And just generally, latency is improved for sending messages to and from. So that was all I have to show for the email server component. Thank you.
Hello, this is Jonathan Zdobinski. I will be going through the database and database storage component of our 1631 project. First things first, I just wanted to outline a few things. I will only be able to record one window with Windows Screen Recorder, which should be fine. The only thing is I can't show you the SIS server running, but it is in the background. You know, you can test it for yourself. We have that going. And you'll see that I don't interact with it either, so it would be difficult to do that, and we just use the other components as a structure for this. Second is I will have to be using PRJ Remote to send the messages, because with screen recording on top of the 3 servers we have running, it kind of makes it difficult for my computer to run all these things, just because we have 3 servers, including a database server, which is difficult to run, and then GUIs and programs running on top of that. So I'm just going to be sending them through PRJ Remote. And we just have the same messages inside the other components, which will be demoed also. So it'll be sending those same messages. So you can just see how this component works. I will also be attaching another video at the end showing you the data group view, which is just another way. It's a kind of an IDE for databases, and you can query them, and just to show you the database side working. So to start off, I will just be running this, and here we go. So as you can see at the bottom here, I have my database credentials hard-coded in right now. It'll be changed to just take in your database credentials whenever we give you the final report. And we connect to the database, and then we connect to the SIS server on the socket. From there, I have PRJ Remote up, and I will be sending a vote through the SIS server right now. And as you can see, got a message from the server. This is just to for the purposes of the demo, just acknowledge that we received something. We process the message, we handle it, and since there were no exceptions for unable to insert, we didn't get any error messages. So next, I'm going to send a query message, which is going to be right here in the code. This is just taking a record, and it's going to go through a while loop through the records, and I will send that right now. So as you can see, I inserted a bunch of the same votes. As you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the top. These are just sorted. This is just for purposes of the demo again. These are sorted by timestamp time, which I am also including on the time when we store the vote. So Since we did that, I'm going to send another vote. And we got one from the server. And then we will display again. And now we can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 messages, and these again are sorted by timestamp. And right there you can see we just did a little bit later, about a minute, and it gives you a correct update of all the votes in the database. Again, we have more ways to sort through. I have more routines run in the database on the Postgres server side for routines and interrupts depending on what you request from it. And that's pretty much it. We have everything working, and again, you'll see the other parts in the other demos. Thank you. Hello, this is Jonathan again. I just wanted to attach a quick view of the data grip view of the data we had gotten from the previous video. I wrote a quick query just to grab everything that was not null, and these are the phone numbers and the poster ID votes that I showed earlier. Again, I have more routines in here, and you can create as many routines as you need to very quickly just with some quick queries inside this, and then reference the method in the Java program. So again, just quick view of the data grip to show that it is pulling from the Postgres local, as you can see up here, and this is just other stuff. These other schemas and other tables are from other projects. But as you can see here, we have mobile votes, and then this query on mobile votes for the stuff that I showed inside the demo. And as you can see, the timestamps match up and everything like that. Thank you.